So the new bounty format from Blast, I think it's very exciting.
The first time I see something in cybersport.
I actually like the whole idea about you can pick like opponent and stuff. So
Adds a little bit of spice to it, I would say. Really interesting to see how it's gonna see out also throughout the tournament.
It's going to make things more interesting for the fans as well, putting money on people's heads. It kind of incentivizes people to take some risks.
To start the season off with something like this, like a new format, is always bringing something more exciting, and also the new rosters competing. So I think there's gonna be many interesting twists.
It's something that kind of scene sort of needs, so hopefully it should be something that's fun to watch.
This is the first time we've ever done the live draft for the Blast Bounty in the studios. We get to see which of our teams are going to be picking into their opponents and go through the whole Blast Bounty format once again. Maui and View, we're still here, we're still rocking it. We had to see how this is going to go down, but this is where it gets interesting because some of the seeds have changed, people who can pick who has changed. It becomes now a bit more of a closer fight.
We're going to see some of the strategies that these teams have as you actually can implement one in this sort of format, which I always think is an added bonus and one of the ways that the bounty is not only unique, but actually just adds another level to the game.
Yeah, I mean, these teams have seen each other play now, right? So you've seen how G2 looks, you've seen how FaZe looks a little shaky, and so you can actually pick based on form, not just based on kind of guessing.
Well, let's bring all of our teams into the mix as we're about to watch and wait for this to go down. They're ready and waiting to decide who they're going to be picking into, and we get to enjoy this moment of watching how it might unfold. Now, some picks might not be kind of the way you would think it would be, right, Maya? It's not going to be maybe just as easy. We've seen this, you mentioned it, some teams maybe not looking as strong as what we thought they would be.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like if you've been watching the matches closely, you're going to look at what G2 just did, where they barely beat a bait team. They looked a little discombobulated in situations. FaZe with the Liege, they weren't hitting the ground running whatsoever. And even some of the underdogs, there are going to be some surprises here probably for teams that even probably have a better seed, like, say, BetBoom, for example.
Yeah, is BetBoom a team that people might just want to pick into, or is it scary because of what they were able to do?
I'd be a little bit scared of BetBoom based on what they actually did in their upset. I mean, that looked like an impressive team. It didn't look like a fluke win.
In terms of it, like looking at it from that sense, you also mentioned about FaZe coming in here, Mario, right? And
yes.
You said like they were maybe not looking as strong as what we expected. Does that still make them a team maybe people would go for? Maybe now they have more practice days. How do you weigh this up if you're one of the other teams?
I would have to do that because at this point, you're going to eventually have to beat consecutive teams to go deep into this bounty tournament. And so for a team like FaZe that just looks a little bit more vulnerable, where they're integrating a Liege, we're seeing Rain, for example, switch to anchor spots. Some of the qualms or the kinks have not quite been ironed out yet for them. And so if I'm an underdog team, I'd say why not? I think FaZe they're the 6th seed or something like that, around that, maybe 5th, 6th, 7th.
6, yes,
okay,
you're correct.
Yeah, okay, so I was right the first time either way. Yeah, no, I think that's maybe like a high enough bounty where I think the risk is worth the reward.
There's one thing I always know about you, Maui. You're always right on the first time. But it is time for the draft, and our first pick is 9th seed here for Furia. So let's see what they're going to do. Sid, how we doing?
Hello, James. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone.
It is good morning, for sure. What have you been cooking for us here, bro? Where did your mind go when you come through all of this?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm thinking. Your opinion might have changed what I think, or maybe not. Let's see what we have.
All right.
So yeah, should I do the pick now, or?
Yeah, let's go for it. Tell us who you're picking, my man.
Okay, so we're picking BetBoom.
BetBoom, okay, you went for him. But you saw what they did to Mouse, right?
We did, yeah. We all saw that. They played very good. But yeah, we'll have to take more things into consideration. One of the things we discussed before knowing who would be available for us to pick was that if any upset happened, maybe it would be smart to take a look at that and maybe consider picking the team that pulled off that upset. And for us, it also makes sense considering the schedule and having that extra day to prep. And we still have some adjustments to do after today's match because we had a very intense day. I mean, everyone who played today did, to be honest. And we still have some things that we need to iron out, and we need to think about some of the things that didn't work out today. We had a quick look at the match, but wasn't enough. I feel like this extra day could be very helpful, and yeah, that's our pick, and I took multiple factors into considerations.
Yeah, that was a pretty comprehensive breakdown of why you went for them. I guess in what you did gather of BetBoom so far, who feels like the star player of that team for you?
Has to be Magnus, right? Because he really hits hard. He's been having very good performances for a long time in that lineup, and we also know how Exile can be very dominant too as a rifler. And I mean, they have really good players, but yeah, we'll be on the watch for them.
Cool, thanks.
Well, Sid, thank you very much for joining us. Go get some rest, my man, and best of luck when you go into your game against BetBoom.
Thank you guys. Have a good night, one.
Okay, so straight away, they went for what they saw was maybe the vulnerable pick. They were not going to listen to us. Sid said, maybe it influenced us. No, he said he's going actually straight in for it. Vu, what are you thinking?
I mean, who else are you going to pick? You're going to pick FaZe. Just the names on paper are just too scary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of those ones where you lose, and then your team is like, why did we listen to this idiot? What is he thinking? Never again. So BetBoom, if you lose, you're like, okay, we made a mistake. Everyone agreed on this mistake.
Well, let's keep things moving. 10th seed is Eternal Fire. We've got Maja joining us. Maja, how are you doing, my man? Oh, he can't hear
I
us.
don't know if you hear me, guys.
I hear
but
you.
We have no sounds, like a production issue.
Oh no, I do hear you though.
At all.
All right, we can wait and try and get that fixed with him. We'll see how that goes. We'll give ourselves some time.
I would just say that the Furia, on the Furia one though, picking BetBoom, they looked really good, and I feel like Mao's had a hard time containing them, just kind of lightly previewing this matchup. And I feel like if you don't know the strategies that BetBoom has, like, they are fast, they're explosive, they have a little bit of misdirection. I think that's like the kind of chaos that Furia have always wanted, but this iteration of Furia has slowed things down a little bit. I think BetBoom might go too fast for them, honestly.
But could they not try and match it in a little way? Can they try and fight back on some of that?
Man, Cello was trying to get something going like that today for himself, and I don't know. Like, if their aggressive entries are Cello versus Magnajez, I'm taking Magnajez. I'm taking Magnajez. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. They're back on the line. Maja, Eternal Fire, he is with us. Do you hear me, my friend?
Hello, guys.
There we go. Maja,
yeah, how are you?
I know it's late, but how are you feeling right now? How have you processed all of your thoughts on who you want to pick?
So I'm gonna go short, like it's a long night. We're gonna pick Falcons as a teams. That's all.
Why did you pick into Falcons? What was your main reason?
I think it's exciting match against us, so I think it's a good matchup for us, so that's all.
Okay, I mean, but they got Nico now.
Yeah, they got Nico, of course, but we have Zone Towers. So
True. He's spitting right now.
What did you make of the first game from Falcons?
I think they play Train, right? They play Train.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They play Ents. I think they play Train.
Yep.
I think they have the core of Heroic and Magiscos and Nico. So I think it's a good teams, but we just take decision as a teams, and I think it's a good matchup for us. So let's see. I think it's gonna be an exciting match.
Respect.
Yeah, and you were so confident with it. So, Maja, thank you for joining us. We'll let you go.
Thank you, guys, and
we look forward to seeing you up against Falcons.
Sorry, I'm a little tired.
No, I don't blame you, bro. We're with you the whole way.
This time I'm sleeping. Never wake up at this time.
It is that kind of time right now. But I do appreciate all of the guys joining us. Vu, them picking into Falcons. Is there a weaker spot there, do you think? He said Zantares versus Nico. He's believing in his boy.
Falcons Ents happened so long ago, I forgot it even happened. FaZe was looking a little weak, but when you actually look at Falcons versus Ents, Falcons were looking pretty weak. I mean, was it OT in both games? Those were very close games. They didn't have to.
So yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, the Train game for sure was like Falcons had to kind of get themselves back into it. Like the synergy is not necessarily there across the board for them, and so despite the heroic core, being a decently strong team, I feel like the other two guys with them, like there's a lot of voices on that team. That's what I can say.
Well, just before we get to the next one, right, we've got G2, Na'Vi, Vitality, Spirit, FaZe, and Liquid still to be picking from. And now we're going to go to Big Clan. Kakafu's there, standing by with us. Hello, Kakafu. How are you doing, my man?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Very good. Thank you very much for asking. We're hanging in there. Your processing of who you wanted to pick, what kind of methods did you guys use in order to choose this? Did you sit down as a team? Was it just you and Tabson?
I mean, we discussed this with the team. Like everybody here is in the boot camp, so like obviously everybody's watching the game and was like talking about it, who we can pick, and yeah, we made a good choice, I think.
Okay, well let's find out then. Who are you going for, Kakafu?
So we are picking G2.
Woo! Okay, you're going for the #1 spot. I like this. Damn, Kakafu. Okay, you were not so impressed with what you just saw from them?
No, I think obviously they're a good team, but I think there's a lot of consideration, right? I think our first goal was to pick a team that also made changes. I think it's always something new, even if you only change one player. I think the teams that didn't change have an advantage because of the like playbook everybody's like filling in there. So that was like one consideration, and I think obviously like how everything turned out today. I think playing on Sunday is also pretty good, and like we feel confident. We're a new team. I think we can take a nice spot here, and yeah, that's why we picked G2.
Were you close to picking FaZe? Who was second up if G2 just dominated 2-0? Who was the second pick?
So we also wanted to go for Falcons.
Okay.
So obviously the same reason, right? New team to mix together, and the fourth guy we would have picked would be FaZe Clan.
Nice. Okay, well we can see your methods. Good luck to you when you get into your game. Kakafu, thank you very much for joining us, man.
Bye-bye.
Okay, they went straight for that #1 spot. There's some good money on the line for it, right? There's opportunity there, and there's definitely a weak spot shown within G2.
I like it. I like the pick overall. G2 playing this late into the day and showing kind of a roulette of people who are going to pop off for them.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like map to map, it's just one individual that's going to try to carry them, and it wasn't actually Team CS, whereas Big, they've always been about the structure. They've always been about the system, and so maybe that can uplift them over the individuals of G2.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it. I think G2 looked vulnerable if you come in with a strategic approach, like Big is going to do. With the addition of Hyped, I think they're going to do pretty well.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing it when it does come to that. But next up to pick into is going to be Heroic and Saw. Saw already found success with his lineup, getting some of that first bounty achieved as well. A big one for him. Saw, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing very good, my man. We're excited throughout all of this. How does it work within the Heroic camp right now? Is it just Saw, mastermind, I'm in full control of everything? Or do you sit down and break it down with the team?
Yeah, I would say, of course, it's gonna be a team decision as well. Like having discussions about what teams should we pick into. Of course, in the end, it's gonna be also my decision in the end, but gonna hear out the team and then see where we go.
Did any of the teams you wanted before already be taken away?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that some of them got picked already.
Which was your #1 pick, if possible?
Well, I think we would have gone with BetBoom if it was available.
That makes perfect sense. All right, so then tell me who you are picking.
So we are gonna pick Liquid.
Liquid. Wow. Okay. Okay. You want to go up against Nerds, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like I know him quite well, so it's gonna be a fun matchup now.
Do you think that your guys' calling might actually be able to upset Liquid on a couple of the maps? Because you're a master of strategizing, obviously, Saw.
Yeah, I think the map pools also matches up quite well. Like, we will get some maps we will like, and we can be prepared in the matchup, of course. So it's gonna be nice, even though it goes live in like now 9 hours or something.
Okay, good luck.
Well, you know what? You said that it's in 9 hours, so we'll let you get some sleep, Saw. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're excited to see the game tomorrow, my man.
Thank you.
Okay, going straight for Liquid, going straight for one of his ex-players in there, but Liquid did look pretty damn good.
I mean, they did look vulnerable at times on the T side in the late rounds. I think that is absolutely something Heroic can try and attack. And not only that, but when Heroic played, Sunpius didn't pop off the way we expect him to. And if he can turn it on, then I think they absolutely could take down Liquid.
Totally. If Saw gives Sunpius a strict game plan to follow to try to anti-strat Liquid, I feel like one, Sunpius is one of the best operators in the world to do that, and two, I feel like Saw is going to get in the lab tonight. I don't think Saw is going to sleep. I'm just going to put it like that. Like if we interview Saw tomorrow, this dude's going to have the biggest bags under his eyes. They'll be gone the next day. But,
yeah.
You know, he puts in the work.
The grind time is coming.
It's now. It's right now for him. Literally the second.
Or maybe he's already started before, you know. He was like, okay, I'm going to start getting this done.
That's also possible.
He's so ready for it. And I'm ready to see our next team's pick. And this time, it's going to be Pain Gaming. We got Rix joining us here. Rix, thank you very much for staying up with us. You ready for this one?
Yeah, hello.
You hear us good?
You're ready?
Nice. Okay, that's perfect. All right, give it to us. Who is Pain picking?
We are going to choose FaZe.
Ooh, okay. Now, how high were FaZe on your order of teams you wanted to pick? Where did they list?
The 5th place.
Okay, so a lot of the teams went away from you.
Yeah. Because we think that Navi, Vitality, and Spirit are like the best teams in the world right now. So, yeah, FaZe.
FaZe. Okay, I like FaZe. I can respect it.
Is there anything in the FaZe game, have you watched the FaZe game back and had a chance to actually pinpoint what you think their weaknesses are?
We watched a little, but we think that Robs was one of the best players in the world. So they are now a little worse, but they are still strong. Eligi is a very good player. So let's see.
Let's see indeed. Well, Rick, thank you very much for joining us. Get some rest,
guys.
And we'll see you in a couple of days.
Nice.
See ya.
Okay, so what's interesting here, guys, is it's the bottom has already gone, and we're just left with the very top teams. Whoa, what a big shock and surprise!
I think the best part is that even though G2 came into this tournament as the #1 seed, they were picked pretty early because they just looked so vulnerable versus bait. And so I'm just glad that the teams are watching the games. They're seeing like, okay, they're not just going to pick the lowest seeded team every single time and work upwards. They're going to say, okay, they barely beat bait. Okay, we're going to pick them pretty early here.
How much do you feel, though, that is obviously a confidence, but also part of the bounty that works into it as well? Like they're thinking about how well they can jump up on that one.
Oh no, I mean, if I'm a team and I see G2 play that and I see the bounty that's on their head, that gets ever juicier. So definitely should factor into their picks.
All right, let's keep things moving. Our next pick to come on in is going to be from Virtus.pro. Pashanoy is joining us. How are you doing, my man? You ready for this? Oh, I can't quite hear you. I know you're talking, but I don't hear you right now. We'll wait to get it all sorted out there.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I'm sick. Sorry, I need to go to bed. We need to go to quickly.
Okay, we'll go quickly. You tell me straight up, who are you picking?
VP picked Vitality.
Wow. Okay. Give me the reason. Why Vitality?
They was left.
Okay. And you didn't want Spirit, you didn't want Navi, so you went, okay, it's just going to have to be them.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, you're sick, so I'm going to let you go. Please rest up.
Thank you so much.
Feel better. No, don't say sorry. Feel better. Thank you very much for being here with us.
A bit surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Because I thought most people were thinking from what they saw, maybe Vitality is like one of the very best right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I oftentimes see these kind of inter-regional matchups as places where upsets happen quite often. Spirit is a team that can get taken down by a lesser CIS region team.
Yeah, no, I actually thought Vitality would end up being the last pick on this whole thing. So my power ranking, probably Vitality. In terms of what I assume teams are going to do, people just want to stray away from Zywoo. Like, online game, like, he's gonna farm no matter what.
And now what's interesting for our next pick, right, is that whichever he picks, it's whose FlyQuest is left with. So we've got Astralis, we've got Rugger with us, and just 2 choices left. This is what happens when you're lower down on the seeding. You get the rough end of it all. Rugger, how are you feeling about your choices?
I think we saw it coming a little bit, so not that surprised.
Okay, so tell us, which one are you picking out of Na'Vi and Spirit?
We're picking Na'Vi.
Na'Vi, okay. Out of Spirit and Na'Vi, you just rate Spirit better, right? Is that why you're going for it?
I think we played them so much recently that it's nice to get a break from them for once in a while. So we'll go with Alexia and Navi instead this time.
Why was Vitality your number? Like, who did you think was actually going to be left with of 2 picks? Did you think it was going to be Navi and Spirit, or do you think Vitality was going to be in the mix?
We predicted a little bit the trio, but I thought that people would leave Vitality along with Spirit for us to pick. So yeah, Navi, but I actually thought that it was going to be Vitality. You never know, like, this combination of players and playing, you know, this honeymoon feeling. You bring Robs into everything. It's, yeah. It's not that fun of a team to play, I think.
So do you feel just a little lucky that you got Navi instead?
I would say more like a matchup where you know a little bit what you can expect. Whereas with Vitality and roles and everything, it would still be hidden a little bit. Like from the first game, you didn't get the full view of how things are running. Whereas Navi is known quantity. They're super good, but at least we know what to expect a little bit from their playstyle.
Makes total sense.
Well, Raga, thank you very much for joining us. Go get some rest, and we'll look forward to seeing you when you go up against Navi.
See you guys.
And so that just means FlyQuest is left with having to play Spirit. That's just how it goes, right? When you're down there at the bottom, you're gonna have to take what you get. The scraps are left over, but this scrap is really good.
I'm sure they're like, yay, we get to play against Donk. We get to see him in action in real life.
Regali will do his best versus Donk. That's what I can say. I know he will.
All right, let's get FlyQuest on the line. Let's hear from them. I believe it's Gomez standing by for us. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
We're doing very good. We're hanging in there. You, I guess you probably expected what? Maybe Vitality, maybe Spirit.
Yeah, it was always going to be one of those two. I think we prepared sort of for both. There was no responsibility for me to pick, so they all went to bed, and here I am.
You're just here to join us for the ride, and it is a wild ride at that. But do you believe yourselves right now, like in terms of just being prepared and getting ready for it, having that idea of who it will be? Do you have confidence in the boys no matter what?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we have a different lineup. We're playing slightly differently, so that can't be easy for Spirit, but they're a really good team, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
With Regali, I just kind of like an interview about your team, I guess. Like, how's he fitting in socially?
Yeah, really good. We were a bit surprised. We thought he'd be quite serious, but he's like a real zoomer, I guess. So similar to Vexite. So they have a lot of fun and joke around a lot.
Well, perfect. Gomez, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for sticking it with us nice and late, and we will see you later on throughout the tournament, my man.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
And there we have it, the first live draft done. I know it was crazy late at night, but thank you for everyone for sticking with us. Thank you for everyone from the coaches to the players to everything who came in and just took a part in this. This is going to get interesting though, because obviously the G2 one is the big one, but we're looking at our schedule for tomorrow, and we're starting with Liquid Heroic. I loved what Saw was trying to cook there.
This is, I think this is a really cool matchup just because there's so little prep time. Mither on Twitter was already upset about the lack of preparation time that his team is going to have, unfortunately. And so if Saw can get more done in a shorter amount of time, I feel like Saw at the end of the day, not going to have those same kind of excuses.
It's actually interesting as well because Hero could have spent a little bit of extra time prepping for Liquid, knowing that they very likely were going to be open.
Yeah.
But Liquid has this very limited time to actually prep in the other direction.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? Some mind games that come in. Next up after that, we're going to have Pain taking on FaZe. Now, we won't be covering that, but that's an interesting one because what we said about FaZe, right? They did have some of the shakiness to it. Some things are not comfortable at times. Do you think Pain has what it takes? They can get in their face and disrupt that a little bit more?
Oh, I mean, that's what Big Uzera and Davideus are all about. They're all about getting in people's faces, a couple smokes, a little bit of misdirection, make it difficult for the defense to read what's going on. If I am FaZe, I'm gonna hope that Elysia isn't trying to shove all those like shortcut phrases down my throat too fast, because we just need clear and concise stuff, and it needs to be understood by everybody right away.
Well, here you have it on the screens, our bounty hunters against the new most wanted and how it's all working out. Guys, thank you very much for rocking with us all night long. This has been the Blast Bounty Season 1. This has been the live draft. We'll see you tomorrow. More great games coming your way. You don't want to miss it. But for now, get some rest. Good night.
Welcome to The Bounty, a new, bold Counter-Strike format where every round raises the stakes. Here's how it works. The prize pool isn't just split at the end, it's distributed as bounties. Each team starts with a bounty based on their seed. Lower seeds begin with 0, but can still strike it big by hunting bounties from higher ranked teams. Win a match, and you secure 50% of your opponent's bounty as a guaranteed payout. The other 50%, it carries forward, growing the stakes for the next round. After each round, the lower seeded teams pick their opponents from the higher seeded pool. If they win, they claim their opponent's seed. In Week 2, the final 8 teams bring their bounties to the Blast Studio. It's a face-to-face showdown with new twists. Teams can challenge opponents by raising the stakes with their banked winnings. It's high risk, high reward. Here's how it works. Teams use their banked winnings to up the ante. For example, if Team A has $50,000 and Team B has $25,000, Team A can only challenge up to $25,000, the amount their opponent has banked. Both teams have to accept the challenge. This is Counter-Strike like never before. Are you ready to go bounty hunting?